Hey, Darrion, how are you?
What's up, Sean?
Doing good. I'll
Good,
go
buddy.
ahead and get right into it. I know you're a busy man today. You have this huge rematch with Kyoji Horiguchi coming up. Now, we've only seen you lose one time before the Horiguchi fight, and that was against Showtime Anglo. You immediately avenged that loss. Was there something that situation taught you that made you insist on getting this rematch immediately?
Well, I just hate losing. I don't like to lose, and so if ever I lose, I have to avenge that loss. And it's just it's nothing against nothing about the person. It's just about my warrior spirit. I'm a competitor, and so whenever I lose, I just got to get it back. So
You've also competed at featherweight before. Of course, you're the bantamweight champion, but you are a big bantamweight. And I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but is your future at bantamweight, or are you ever eventually going to move up to featherweight full time?
my, I think my future is just a champion. I'm a champion. Honestly. So I think my future is going to be at 45 as well as 35. Because I just I think I'm the best 45 pounder in the world as well. So just like 35. So like, in due time, you know, it's going to be more so about you know who's next in line at either weight. Who's ready to go.
That was your first time competing in Japan at Rise in 14. What was that experience like? Did that affect you at all, making that trip over there? Because I don't believe you fought outside the states prior to that, if I'm correct.
I haven't. Yeah, it was a good experience. I didn't get the results that I wanted, but it was a good experience. Now I got to go out there against that champion. Make sure that whatever happens again.
Obviously, you're not one to shy away from competition, and that was a big opportunity. As is this one, this Ryzen versus Bellator bantamweight situation. Were you surprised when that came about? Because it did seem to come out of left field, and a lot of people were really happy about it.
Well, I was surprised. I was shocked. But it's not like Delta and sent guys over. They done it with King Mo, and so other guys. It was shocking that they mentioned me. But when I heard about the opportunity, I jumped all on it. I hit Scott Coker up. And immediately let him know, like, that's something I'm interested in. So let's try to make it happen. And so the fact that I was able to even get out there is a big deal. The fact that Bellator, they have their studs. They got a lot of studs, and for them to put their chips in on me, that is it's a big deal.
You
So
mentioned Scott Coker. I know that you came in towards the very end of the Bjorn Rebney era. How would you compare working with those two? Obviously, you've worked with Scott Coker an awful lot more than you did Bjorn.
yeah, well, it's, I guess imagine it's just like night and day. Like a relationship you don't want to be in, as opposed to a relationship you want to be in. It's like you want you want a headache, or you want to relax. So I think the things that Scott Coker has done already since he's been here is just tremendous. He's given. We've already expanded the roster. He's extended. Where we've been fighting at. They from London. Canada. They're doing all these things that weren't done. In the Jordan Rebney era. So that's just a testament to his hard work. And, the people that he's putting around him.
Of course, there's another bantamweight, maybe soon to be champion, and Henry Cejudo out there. He had a decorated amateur background, as you did, and he got recruited by WWE. Was that something that ever happened to you? Did any pro wrestling companies ever reach out to you in the same fashion?
Uh, no, honestly, but shit, I'm the most athletic, most talented wrestler out there. So If WWE needed a guy, I'd definitely be the guy.
So, like when you see all the crossover there, and you mention your athleticism, is that something you'd ever be interested in? As we've seen a lot of people make that transition and do really well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As you know, I can do backflips and all types of shit, you know. So I think with my acrobatic background, I think I'll fit right in over there, you know.
Is that something that you follow at all, or is it just something that maybe you have an interest in doing perhaps down the line?
Definitely something I have an interest, you know, down the line, you know, making that happen.
And has there been anybody that perhaps you've trained with that has made that transition? Because it seems to be happening more and more these days.
Like who? Like who? Who's doing it?
Matt Riddle's made the transition. Ronda
The only person I
Rousey,
know
Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn
Yeah.
Duke.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, King Mo was like,
Yeah.
I feel like the pioneer of it outside of like Brock Lesnar, you know. But yeah, man, I think it's a great outlet for fighters to just, you know, whatever reason, you know. I think it's a great outlet.
Now, I mentioned you are a really big bantamweight. How will staying in the States affect you making that weight as opposed to traveling to Japan? I mean, it from the outside looking in to a novice, it seems like it would make it a little bit easier, a little more comfortable.
Absolutely, it's gonna make it more comfortable. I'm an East Coast boy. I got 18 years of that time on my side, so.
Well, Darrion, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and best of luck.